So we don't argue with you. We are telling you that God can take a physical body for himself temporarily if he wants to. He controls all the laws, including the laws of matter and gravity. Consequently, he can become a man. Remember, not Allah your God. He cannot defy laws of gravity to come in physical matter. That is different. That is the difference, and we know the difference between the God of the Bible and the God of Quran. He is locked up, limited. How can he control the matter gravity if he doesn't know it? So so okay, several things. Of course, he want to emphasize that God can take physical body. This basically refer to God become man in term of Jesus, right? But then he relates to he controls all laws, including laws of matter, gravity, etc. Right? So of course, the law of the universe, which is part of the universe, part of how the universe function, is part of the creation, right? Because when God create the creation, it comes with all the laws, the how things work in the universe. So of course, God is all powerful on to the laws, etc. Right? So we do not differ in that, and God can do anything with regard to that. Where, for example, when Abraham being thrown into the fire, so God can make the fire not hot and not burning Abraham, right? So, and the miracle with regard to Moses that goes and where the parting of the sea, or the staff become, I don't know, whatever it becomes, etc. Right? So those miracles are when God basically override the physical world, the laws, right? Meaning that the world, the universe is how to say, is functioning according to the law, but God have the power to make an exception to the law. For example, when Abraham is in the fire is not functioning as how it is designed for according to the law, right? So that doesn't become hot and it doesn't burn Abraham inside, so etc. Right? So we accept that God can do that, but it's totally different. He can become man. So that's not about do, right? That's not become what God do upon man. That's can God become. It's not can God do something. Can God become something, right? That's where we differ. Right? That's where we disagree. You say not only God can do anything, God can become anything. God can become human. God can become limited, right? So from Islamic perspective, no, God who is all powerful cannot become all weak. God who is all knowledgeable cannot become lack of knowledge. God that is eternal cannot become temporary, right? So God cannot become what he is not, right? So that's essentially what it is, right? Can God become not God? Christians say yes, Muslims say no. God is God and always be God. God cannot become not God, right? So it's not about doing, it's about becoming, right? So that's not about laws, etc. Because this is when we talk law, physical matters, this is about the world. Can God change anything, tweak anything, impose anything on the physical world? Yes, of course. But can God become limited with it? That's totally different question actually, right? And we say no, God remains as God at all time, right? Of course, I know Christian wouldn't agree because I don't know the logic. God is powerful. God is not limited, basically, right? God is not limited, and God can choose to become limited. Something like that, right? You believe that God can choose to become no longer God if God want, basically, right? So because when Muslim says eternal, then eternal means eternal, right? Can God that is eternal choose to be no longer eternal? So that eternal is not a being then? I don't know. So of course, some Christians say I'm using too much logic, because you shouldn't be logical in this. But again, Islamically, we because logic and truth goes hand in hand, basically. So how can illogical be accepted if you accept as such? All right. So, and he says this: he's locked up, limited. To which actually I asked, what do you mean God is locked up? So, and then he said, your God is locked up by your book and prophet claim. I'm not sure what that means. It's a phrase, I guess. He said God can never take a body, become a man. Impossible. Yeah, God cannot become no longer God. So you have to decide what God can do, and it's not about can do. Unless you say what God can become and cannot become, then yeah, we have limitation of God. What can God can become? God is limited to only being God. You say God can become no longer God, right? So from Muslim perspective, yeah, if you want to say that is limited, from us that's not limited. You are the one that put God into the possibility that God can be limited. For us, no. If God cannot become something limited, right? In one hand, you say God can do. Okay, again, so the wording have to change if you want to convince me, right? But I'm not sure how can I be convinced that God can become limited. Anyway, so it's the end there. What say you? Anything that you wish to add? Feel free to do so. Thank you for watching. See you next time.